The countdown. Okay, we are recording. I'm so excited.
Yay.
I don't know if I'm looking in the right spot or not. We'll find out after the
You are.
but I'm excited to be talking to you today about clutter, organizing, and cleaning
Hmm.
because I need it and I need you. That's why we are friends. Could you help me out with that? But I wanted to talk about that because I'm on this doing a course, creating a course on mindsets
Hmm.
and how our mindsets affect every aspect of our life. And
Hmm.
I came to that conclusion. I think I've always believed that, but as my kids are actually getting older and I'm getting older, I'm starting to see the younger generation, I guess, and also because of COVID, the mindsets, a lot of them are just like they're negative, where they don't really believe in themselves, they have low confidence, low self-esteem, and that manifests to all kind of problems from serious to children, with violence
Right.
to dating the wrong person for like years and years, and then you realize, what am
Hmm.
I doing? Like I am worth something. So
Right.
that's just all over. And then in meeting with you, and when we started decluttering and organizing, um, I really said, okay, I want to talk to you about this. And I know it's very trendy, it's very popular, but I just think it's important because everyone has a message and your story could resonate with somebody in a different way. And if we can help one person, then to me, that's enough. So
Right.
let's go into just tell a little bit about yourself and how
My
you
name
got
is
into it.
Leslie,
Yes.
and I'm owner of Heaven Sent Cleaning Services and
Okay.
Organizing.
Awesome.
And I really just started this in 2005 when I was like working full time. I
Okay.
started working with a couple of families in the area where my job was. And I really feel like during that time, I was learning a lot
Okay.
from the people that I was cleaning for because I was brand new in this. Like I kind of like fell into it.
Gotcha.
So my first couple of clients were very neat type of people that wanted
Oh,
me to come in and keep them, clean and under control, which was great. Because I picked up so many different, ideas and tips.
mhm.
So it did start as cleaning, but as families change,
Mhm.
either they have children, spouses pass away, I had to start to help them organize.
Okay.
Um, I've helped people order furniture or shelving so they can, really maximize their space if they
Awesome.
needed to have more options for storage. So
Yeah.
just over the years, everything has started to kind of come into the same space of like we talked about cleaning,
Mm.
organizing, um, and decluttering. Like you have to do all three of them.
I
You
know.
can't
Why
just do the cleaning.
not?
And a lot of people just say, "Oh no, 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 don't move that.
Exactly.
Just just clean around it."
Oh. So what have you seen changes over the years from because 2005, I didn't know that. So I learned something
Right.
new. What do you see? And do you see a difference if someone lives in a house or apartment? Me, as far as like, oh, I have so much space, I can just buy 20 of these, and
Right,
or
right.
like, what do you see?
I think before, when I first started, I started with people that had these humongous houses
Okay.
and they had storage, so they could kind of like tuck away things,
Yeah.
but like you said, how does it change if you have an apartment or if your house may not be
Yeah.
as big, um yeah, people start renting storage units and then that turns into a whole thing, so I feel like now, since it is like trendy, even though, I've been doing this for years, not even knowing that I was decluttering and
Yeah.
organizing, it was just part of, what I
Yeah.
did. Um, it just seems like now I feel like people are more open
Okay.
to being honest about what they have going on in their house. and showing people like, here it is, you know. I think before, when I would clean for people, there would be rooms that I did not go into. I never
Oh,
knew what they looked like, you know. Sometimes
wow.
people would, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
it was kind of like a shameful type of thing. But now I feel like people are more open to,
Okay.
you know, getting to the root of the issue and getting it done.
Getting it done. Now, who is the hardest clients? Older, young, like what do you, or is it a mix?
Older for sure.
Like, that's so cute though.
So I heard someone say the other day, your kids don't want your stuff. And I said, I'm going to start using this line,
Yes,
okay? Because I feel like older people are holding on to things because they think that when they pass,
the kids
that
want
is
it.
going to go to their children.
Mhm.
So I think that's the hardest thing because, you know, sometimes I have one client where I'll have her call her sons and I say, ask them, do they want this?
Wow.
And they're like, Mom, no, get rid of it. And then they're
Aw.
in the background, like, thank you, Leslie. You know, yeah,
Does she get rid of it or she kind of like,
yeah. Sometimes she gets rid of it,
oh,
but
okay,
sometimes she'll still set it to the side, you know. So it'll take a couple visits for it to actually make it out of the door.
to get it out?
Um,
Now, what do you, when you meet or have a client, do you like, how do you assess? Do you go in, walk through, like walk me through your process of
yes,
and
I
how bad?
always do a consultation first.
Okay,
Um, and not just to see their area, but to see what their mental state is also.
okay.
Because then that gives me an idea of what questions to ask, how far I can go as far as purging is concerned, because I
True.
don't want them to get mad at me or kick me out.
No, yeah.
So, and I want to make sure that they like me and they feel comfortable with me as well. So sometimes we'll sit and talk first, and then
Okay.
they'll loosen up a bit and be like, oh, well, let me show you this. And then they end up showing me everything.
Oh,
So
that's good.
after they show me everything, we decide where do you want to start at first. And
Okay.
sometimes it's a room by room thing. And you know, I like doing things room by room. That's my favorite way to do it. Some people
Okay.
kind of like to do a little bit everywhere, but
Mhm.
I think room by room is good because once you have that one room done, it's a win. And then you can
Exactly.
see, you know, what are the possibilities in the other rooms.
Awesome. Now, what, and I guess it's hard to gauge. How long does it usually take? Like, do you say to yourself, okay, this is probably going to be like a, because well, also, let me go back. Do you
Mhm.
go more than once a week or are you going every week? Like, what is your, and how do you set goals for the person? You know,
Right. It really depends on their schedule, really,
okay,
because
okay,
if someone wants to get it done in like 2 weeks and they want to do a whole house, I'm going to fit them in the schedule. Because
okay,
one thing I
okay.
understand is that as soon as I have their attention and they have the
Mhm.
motivation to get it done, it's
Gotta do it.
like full
Okay,
force with it,
okay,
you know.
that makes sense.
um I have a client that I've been working with since 2017 and we're still not done.
Okay, well, hallelujah.
So
Okay, okay. She's
you know,
older?
sometimes a visit, I'm just cleaning, you know, regular maintenance
Oh,
cleaning, you know,
okay, okay,
and we might do that for a couple of weeks. And then maybe the next 2 weeks, we're throwing away stuff.
okay.
But again, she lost someone. So there are emotions tied to a
Yeah,
lot of these things. So we're literally going room by room. It's very easy. She's happy
okay.
with the progress. I'm like, but I'm happy that it's actually still moving forward. You know what
And
I
you have
mean?
the patience for
So it really depends on the client's comfortability.
okay, that's ex now
Yeah.
this is a she's older?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, and
Yes.
clearly you have the patience.
I do. Listen,
That's your
I
gift.
am like, when we say heaven sent, we really mean it, you know?
Yeah, no, seriously, because that is a gift, because that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. So I was doing some research. I said, let me do some
Mhm.
research that I can do. And we hear about clutter and how clutter in, I was so mad when I heard this in the car. I'm like, although my car's gotten much better, I've gotten much better.
Listen, when you said that yesterday, I was like, duly noted. I will be peeking in her car next
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yes.
Okay.
I have gotten so much better. But the car and the house
Uh,
are reflections of your mind.
right.
So as I'm doing and developing the course, I of course have to look at myself, which I was like, "Ugh." But you
Right.
have to, be responsible for yourself. What have you seen as far as do you find it to be true when you meet someone and their house is cluttered and then you talk to them, are you kind of like, oh, okay, this makes sense? Or, or have you ever been, husband or wife and kind of like, oh, actually it's really not the wife, it's more the kid, like what do
Right.
you think?
Right. So I will say that usually if someone's home is like really, really bad, it's
Hmm.
almost a mirror to how
Okay.
their health is.
Oh wow.
Yeah, their health,
Okay.
um, their relationships with
Oh.
people.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. I haven't thought about that.
So it's very, very interesting. And then also sometimes I'll run across people that are doing the work mentally and physically, and they're like, oh, it's time to get this done too. So
Awesome. It
they
goes.
they understand the correlation, you know what I
Got it.
mean?
Got it. Yeah.
And then just the same, my clients that are like super neat freaks, they're like gym rats, they're like,
You're on point.
they're just
Yeah.
is the whole mindset is different. And
Got it.
I noticed that in my own life. Like if I feel like things are in disarray, I'm like, oh,
Hmm.
I need to take a day off and
Okay.
reset because obviously I'm doing, too much
Much
stuff.
or too distracted. So actually, I'm gonna take a detour. I
Mhm.
have been, my husband and I have been really been fascinated with this concept of a poverty mindset. And just
Yes.
now, when you said just about lack and can you talk about that with clutter?
Yes.
Like, how do you see that playing in?
Yeah, so a lot of times people will say, and we talked about this, like, um, I might need that later. And
Okay.
I mean, it can be the simplest thing, and it can be something that's broken, you know,
Mhm.
or out of style, or just, you
And
know, they have the mindset that one day their abundance is going to be gone, or is going to be taken
okay.
away from them.
Interesting.
Um, And I really feel like that is a lack of trust that, oh, these blessings are going to stop. I need to hold on to these things. And it's like, with that mindset, I always say you have to get rid of stuff so you can make room for more stuff to come in. And people think that that's like, oh, that's so cliche. But it's so
No, it's
true.
true.
It's
It
so
is.
true. Every time I donate stuff,
Mhm.
I will like I'll be in a store, say like TJ Maxx or something, and
Yeah.
I'll find something for $2 or $3, and I'll just chuckle to myself, and it'll be like this amazing thing that I
That you
found on
do.
clearance.
Yeah. You're like,
But
"Woo."
and that's just a small example. But yeah,
No,
just making room for, and this is for some of the single people.
okay.
Make room for your person that you want to come in.
True. That is true.
You have to have an inviting space for whoever you want to come in,
That's true.
you know?
'Cause I heard someone, this was years I was already married, but their closet, it was a woman, and her closet was full of clothes.
Mhm.
And someone came in and said, "Well, if you met the man of your dreams, where would he go?
Right,
Because his
right,
clothes can't fit in here." And
right,
she actually was like, "Well, of course I would get rid of him if or when." And the woman said what you said. She goes, "But the whether it's God, I believe God, but universe, whatever you want to say, is not gonna. There's no room." Like she's like
right,
literally looking around on the show, like, "Where is he going?"
right.
So she got rid of the stuff. It was interesting. She did it,
Yeah,
and like 6 months later, she met somebody.
it's true. It's true.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, okay, wow." So I personally do believe in that. I know not a
Mhm.
lot of people do, but I do believe you have to make room for the blessings. You really do.
Right.
Um, Another thing in the research which blew my mind was I understand cortisol levels because as I'm
Mhm.
trying to lose weight and get my belly under control, and
Mhm.
all this stuff. 'Cause I hit 50 last year. Woo-hoo. Um, I didn't realize, like, I guess for some reason, I know you get stressed and I hear about it, but the article was saying that your levels and cortisol levels of people with clutter is so high that
Yeah.
they actually are depressed more
Mhm.
often. than others. And this is what blew my mind, that over time, their brain is physically altered in shape because of the cortisol levels. And I'm not
Yeah.
going to get into all the science and the levels and
Right.
the
Right.
blood, but the end result is that your brain is altered. And I was like, oh my gosh, when I get home, I am getting rid of some of a
Right.
lot of stuff. I was like, woohoo, I'm getting rid of some stuff
No,
immediately.
and I
But
definitely
seriously,
believe that to be
yeah.
true because it's like the cycle, you know, you're in your home, you're looking at all this stuff. It
Mm-hmm.
makes your cortisol levels go up because you're like, I need
Yeah,
to do this, I need to do that.
exactly.
It doesn't
Pretty
happen
much.
because you know how cortisol will have you all, you might
It-
go grab a snack.
that's what it said.
Yeah,
It's
you're
a
gonna go
cycle.
grab a snack.
You're not going to do
You're
it.
gonna watch something on
Mhm.
TV to stimulate you, and then you're
Yeah.
gonna go to sleep. You're gonna leave the house. You're gonna come back,
Yeah.
and when you open
I
up your door,
know.
you're like, "Oh my god." And it's literally like the cycle over and over and over
Oh
again.
my
And I've
gosh, I
actually
know.
had these conversations with clients before, and I've never before you talked about cortisol, I never even thought to give the chemical,
Yeah, I
what's
thought about
actually yeah,
yeah,
yeah, what's actually happening.
really.
Yeah,
That's really scary. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's
yeah.
so I'm getting that together. So I'm
You
getting that
you're not
for
doing
real
that.
because that is, I was like, okay, we got to get that in control. So how do you get someone to even start? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like how, because if that cycle's going on, what's the wrench? What can you do to get them to like wake up?
Well, I feel like my most difficult clients, the first step is that they called me. So
That's
it's
true.
like,
About that. That's true.
that's amazing
No,
to
that
some
no, that's
people's
no,
families. They're like,
no, it
oh
is.
my God, like what? You have someone there? Cause like sometimes people will call and be like, hey, what are you doing? Oh, I have a young lady here helping me. And they're like, what? And they're like, okay, go ahead, get back to them, cause they like can't
Good.
believe
Good.
it, you know?
Yes. Yes.
So
Awesome. That's
I
awesome.
just I make sure the person stays in the room with me because I have had clients that say they're going to be there, and as soon as I get there, they leave, and I'm
Really?
like, yes,
'Cause they don't want to be
yes.
like, what's that about? Like they
They
don't want to
don't
be there.
they
What?
don't want to address it. They don't. They would rather
Oh,
I do it. And I think we talked about this too. So say if I organize something or if I threw away or decluttered, purged, they can blame it on me. Like,
oh,
I can't
that's
find this and this and that. Leslie must have, and I've
right.
had a client like that before and it didn't bother me at all. Cause I'm
Yeah.
like, yep, I
I took,
did, you know.
you should have stayed here and you would have
Right.
seen it. That's
But
exactly.
yeah, I think the first step is to have the person actually stay in the house and
Okay.
keep them engaged. So it's like I'm literally walking through with them. And I think we all saw Marie Kondo with
Oh,
the whole, does this bring you joy situation.
I love
I've
that.
been doing that for years. I didn't call it does this bring you joy. I
Yeah.
say, you really need this. So
Yes, I do. And everything
right,
brings me joy. Everything brings
right,
me joy. I love it all. Yes. Otherwise, why would I buy it? But no, yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah. That's true. That's true. Now, when what is the first room that you think should be done? Like, would
Bed.
it be my bedroom because of my sanctuary or the kitchen, like the bedroom?
Yeah. So it's funny. I always say the bedroom, especially if it's a woman that is taking care of other people, or if it's a
Okay.
man that's taking care of other people. So if it's a man and he might have like a man cave or
Mhm.
office, I would start there first. Because
Okay.
wherever your space is, that's like your sanctuary or where you're
Got
gonna
it.
spend a lot of time. I like to do that first because you'll be in that room more and you'll be seeing these results like, oh yeah, this
Okay.
feels,
You feel
this feels really good. Now, I also have some clients that they might stay in their family room or their living room where you step into the house,
okay.
so it's like we got to get this taken care of. So like you said,
Okay.
you can have some company,
Exactly.
because
Somebody.
that will keep people from, oh, I can't let people in the house, I'm so embarrassed, I only cracked the
Yeah.
door open, so it really depends on where they spend their most of their time at, and
Okay.
if their entryway to their home is presentable, you
Then
know
you'll start someplace else.
right.
Okay. Got it. And this was actually I was really saddened by this. Um, I'm blessed enough that I can I stay home, stay with my kids, But I was reading an article that people, this was focused on women,
Hmm.
uh, and that their home is not their sanctuary. They're stressed. So I can't imagine going to work someplace I don't really like, or even if I like it, just the fact that you're working is stressful. You know what I mean? Like you have a
Right.
project to do, you can have a coworker getting on your nerves, whatever it is. And
Hmm.
then you gotta come home and you come home, you're looking around like, okay, this is not, and then your
Yep.
car's a mess. So it's like everything's a mess.
Yeah.
So I was really thinking, like, I really started feeling sad because I'm like, your whole life's a mess. So where are you finding
Yes.
any peace? You know?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
uh, it's really important. Like I was after reading the article and some other ones, I was like, this is really like this is serious. So what
Yeah,
do
it
you?
is.
Yeah. So what do you? 'Cause I know you're big on Zen and just being at peace. Because I know you
Right.
work in corporate, and
Right.
it's important for you to be able to control your schedule and things like that.
Right.
What have you seen, or how has your mindset evolved
Yeah.
with this
So it's
client?
funny. I don't think I spent as much time in my house as, when COVID came around, of course. It was
Oh,
like
hmm,
everybody had to be in their house.
yep.
Now, unfortunately, during that time, I was in a relationship that wasn't great and the person
Okay.
lived here. So it
Oh,
was like
that was a little bit.
I was I was like, "Oh my God." But it was so crazy because I started fixing up the house. I started doing projects in the house so I can have these little my office was a little pocket I can, be in. And then
Okay.
my
Okay.
bedroom was a little,
Yep.
so it's I feel badly for people that have that dynamic where not even coming home is peaceful to
Yeah.
them.
That's
Yeah,
true.
and so, like, now, of course, it's like, I love being home, and I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, but I get so excited. Like,
Like,
I get so excited. I'm like, "Oh my
yeah.
gosh, when I get home, I'm gonna do this," and it's
Yeah.
just, like, such a different feeling, but I know it's also because there's a ton of stuff, and I wanna talk about energy
Okay.
real
Yeah.
quick.
Please. No. No. Yeah.
So, um So every object has energy. And I'm not trying to be spooky. Like this is a scientific fact. Everything has energy around it, you
Mhm.
know? So I truly believe that if you have old items in your home
Mhm.
that were given to you or forced upon you, how somebody will be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I got you this lamp. Here, put this." And it's like,
I don't want that, but yeah.
yeah. Clothing. Oh, this guy got me this expensive pocketbook, but he was terrible to me.
Yep.
Like,
Mhm.
sell it, use the money to get you something, you
That
know?
you
Like,
want that.
I am
Yeah.
a huge proponent of putting things on eBay, putting it
Yes.
on OfferUp,
Okay.
but energy is such a huge thing. And I realized when um I had my home back to myself again, I
So
got rid of almost everything because it was just I've been here 16 years, so it's like I've had,
start.
different families stay here. I've had different businesses, different jobs. So you
Mhm.
accumulate,
Yes.
all of these
Things.
weird things that you
Yeah.
paperwork. Paperwork is so
Oh, we
crazy.
haven't talked about that. I'm going to do a
Yeah.
section on that.
Even like oh even like old cards and letters. Why are we keeping old cards and letters, especially if it's from people that are no longer in your life in a positive way? You
That's
know?
right. I like that. It was
Yeah.
interesting. One time, this was years ago, and my husband's best friend had met the woman that he felt was going to be like
Mhm.
his wife. And I'll never forget because he and I get along very well. And my husband was like, "Oh my gosh, she acts like you." And I was like, "Why?" Because he had a pair of shoes that looked beautiful. And my husband's like, he just he threw them in the trash. So the Pharaoh was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Dude, some girl gave those to me like years ago. Why would I keep those? I got a
Right.
new." And it was so
Right.
funny because he said it, he was so nonchalant. Narelle said it was like no brainer. Like he just
Yeah.
anything that someone gave him that wasn't her,
Yeah.
it was in the trash, no brainer.
Yeah.
'Cause I didn't know he
Yeah,
was that kind of guy, you know what I mean? But it was
right,
so interesting. He's like, I don't need that. I'm starting
right.
fresh. It's like, mm-mm.
It's
So
such an awesome trait to have because then
yeah,
you're also not tied to items. That's another, thing that we all have to get away from is being tied to items,
attached, attached to stuff.
So, yeah, I after I was able to do it for myself completely,
Hmm.
and I found that I just felt lighter,
Yeah.
I didn't feel like this stuff. And every time you look at something that somebody gave you that you guys may have had a falling out, or maybe they're just not around anymore. Every time you look at it, it's like, there go them shoes that,
Okay.
and it's like every single time you think about that person a little
Yeah.
bit,
Yeah.
which is such wasted energy. You could use
Exactly.
that energy to think
Do some-
about other things or to accomplish something for yourself,
Well, I just leads me to my next point. I just saw, and I love this line. It said that you should align your environment with your goals and intentions. And
Absolutely.
if someone is stressed, there's no creativity going on. And I'm a creative
Absolutely.
person. Like, I'm constantly thinking of ideas or just, you can't do that if you're stressed. So
Right.
um, one of the, I want to recap. You assess you talk to the person, assess the situation. You prefer to do their sanctuary within their home, bedroom, man cave, what's a girl cave, whatever, unless the front needs work first, right?
Right.
That's like the entry area. Um, get rid of old things that are attached to people or things that no longer serve you or no longer that you're not doing that
Hmm.
anymore. I think is excellent because we all have our past lives, like you said, past jobs,
Right.
relationships. That's awesome. What's another tip that someone could do? Like they watch this video and they're like, I can do this right now. Not saying they're going
Yeah.
to declutter the whole thing, but they can do like, I can say, for me, it would be my bedroom is going to be my sanctuary. So I'm going to
Hmm.
make sure that tonight, I pick up like one or two things and then
Right.
progress. What can someone say after watching this? Like, that will kind of put them on the
Yeah.
track.
So I would
Besides call
say,
you. Besides call you. What can I do?
yeah, yeah. Just call me. But I would say to don't start on a day where you don't have time to start, okay? Like start on a day when you know you can actually finish something. So what I mean by that is if you're going to purge,
Mhm.
I need you to put those things in a bag and then put it in your car and then get in your car and drive them to where you're going to have them, because I
Also,
have so many people
okay.
that'll make a secondary pile of like, oh, this will be donation. And then
It's
it's,
fine.
oh, I see your hand. You're not the only one. I swear you're not. But see, at least your
Woo!
donation pile is not at your front door. Okay. So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, yeah. So, and it's like the next visit I come in and I'm like stepping over the 10
Oh,
bags
it's
that we
still there.
bagged up. And it's like, why
Oh,
is this stuff
okay.
still here?
Got it. Got it.
Because if the things are still there, you're going to double guess it and you're going to be like, oh, well, maybe the church will want it. I'm going to have sister such and such come by and look at the stuff.
Yes.
Then it's
Yeah.
like, oh, well, I shouldn't put this in the trash. Maybe I can sell it, knowing that you don't sell anything,
Yeah.
So it's like, I like to devise the plan with the person, and I will take
Okay.
people's donations with me if they
Oh,
say like,
wow.
"Oh no, just leave it." And I'm like, "No, just we'll put it in my car and I'll take it to a bin." And then it's like it's real
Nice.
to them then, They're
Okay.
like,
Okay.
"Oh." you
Yeah.
know
We get
so
rid
I
of stuff.
always say like don't try to like just squeeze it in two
Okay.
hours that you have on a Friday or something. Like plan a day as if
Okay.
you would plan for work or plan for whatever. Say
Okay.
like for these 4 hours, this is what I'm going to do. At the end of it, I'm going to take the donations over to the Goodwill and then I'm done you know
Okay. So you want the people to plan because I will do that. So I am I'm like, I'll be sitting there. Okay, I'm just being lazy. Let me get up and I'll do something like you,
right,
like
right,
20
right.
minutes. Like, yeah, girl. And then I'll go sit down. No, I think obviously you're the expert. So that's better if you actually say I'm going on Saturday or whatever
Right.
day 4 hours, 12 to 4, and at the end of that, I'm
Yep.
dumping. Okay,
Yep.
I think that's
Yep. And
feasible.
then it's less overwhelming for people. And then you're going to feel accomplished. When you feel accomplished, you're
Yep.
going to want to keep doing it and you'll want to do it over and over and over again. If
Yes.
you start and just like those memes that we send each other on Instagram,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
person like pulls out all this stuff and then they're like sitting in the middle of the floor drinking, like, oh my God, you
Just
know.
throw it
So
off.
it's,
Exactly.
yeah.
Okay. So then now before we end, I want to do some fun stuff. Where can
Okay.
we get good products? Even though I know we're decluttering, but we need to buy a few things to put the clutter, to put the, good stuff in.
Say it one more time.
Oh,
I
oh,
got
sorry,
some
my
noise out
my
there.
thing is crazy. I'm sorry. So I want to talk about some fun stuff like I like to do. Where Home Goods, TJ Maxx,
Yes.
we have to be able to buy a few good things
Yes.
to put in, what we have left. So what do you recommend? Where do you go? Where do you shop? And like that.
So everybody loves Amazon and I do too.
Yes. Okay.
So usually what I'll do is I'll go to like Home Goods or TJ Maxx or Burlington and price it. If it
Got
seems very low, I'll get it then. If
it. Okay.
not, I'll look it up real quick on Amazon just to, compare
Yeah,
prices.
right. Okay.
Yeah. Um Also even cheaper stores than that. Dollar General and Family Dollar, like I
Yes.
showed you, have
Yeah.
great baskets, clear containers,
Okay.
storage bins.
Oh,
And because I know that that's a lot of people are a little scared to see how much this is actually going to cost. Because it's
yes.
one thing to pay someone to clean, they bring their own products. It's a set price.
Yes.
Organizing, I think, since we've been watching HGTV, and it's
Yeah.
like we think we have to
Woo-hoo.
purchase all of this, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try to show my clients things that are affordable so
Okay.
we can get through the whole house without them feeling like, this was like a huge expense.
Okay.
But
Excellent.
yeah, definitely TJ Maxx and Home Goods basically has everything you need,
Yeah, they
you
do.
know.
They have good
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, and thrifting also. So the thrift store is tricky because I have donated clothes and furniture in the back of the thrift store, and then I drive around to the front and walk in and then buy stuff. So it's tricky going to
Oh,
the thrift
oh, yeah.
store.
For me,
But
I was like, huh? Okay.
yes.
Yes, 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 yes.
So the things I like to get like from the home from the Goodwill, um, flower pots,
Okay.
baskets. I love baskets. You like baskets
I
too,
love
though.
baskets. I love baskets. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker.
Um, Little tables or shelves that will be like dirt cheap, $5 for a shelf.
Got it.
And even
Yeah.
if it'll be like a temporary item or maybe an item that you can refinish,
Okay.
you can really go to the thrift store and get a whole bunch of organizational things for really, really cheap. So I do like the thrift
Good.
store as well.
Awesome. Awesome. So what I want you to do is two things. To how can people contact you?
Yes.
And do you, I'm sorry to put you on the spot because we can put it at the bottom of this. Do you have prices now, or is it more you'd rather talk to the person?
Right.
Um, you know what I mean? Because you don't, I know you're cleaning, you do, but I can't remember for decluttering, it's
Right.
different. Could you talk to the,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
So you can reach me at heavensentcleaning.llc on Instagram. You can call me. There is a link there. It's 215-703-8298. Um, Now as far as pricing, a base price is 150 for 3 hours.
That's excellent.
Um, hmm?
Guys, that's excellent. That's a good deal, people.
Yes,
Seriously, woohoo, that's
yes.
a good deal.
And that's the base price. Now, if you have some extenuating circumstances, we'll have to talk about
Yes,
that.
but that's a no.
But of course, any items that you need will be on top of that. So if you want me to order some of the organizational things, or however you
Oh,
want to do it, I can order
excellent.
it. You can reimburse me however you want to do it. But I just always want to make sure that we have everything we need when we
Okay.
get started so we can get it going. But
No,
I would love people to visit me on Instagram so you can see some before and afters
okay.
and leave some comments. ask me any questions you like, and you'll probably see a home on there that is similar to yours. So it can give you an idea of, what the possibilities are.
Awesome, awesome. So you will get the organizational things they need if they choose, or they can get them
Right.
themselves. Okay,
Right.
that's great because that's
Yeah.
and the base price is 150. And
Hmm.
then do you recommend that they send you, or will you do this when you meet with them, photos of spaces that they like? To give you an idea, or would you rather, like, how do you work with that?
Yeah, I'd rather come and look at it, and
Okay.
then we can sit, like, the consultation can be as short or as long as you guys want it to be. I'm not one of those people that's like, it's 15 minutes and that's it. It's like I want
No.
to I want to sit with you, really get an idea. We
Okay.
can look at things on Amazon together right then and
Oh,
figure
awesome.
out, what it is. Sometimes people need to measure. Like there's a lot of things that,
Go
may
into
have
it.
to go on. So yeah, and then a lot of times as we're purging or as I give them ideas as well, it's like maybe the idea of the room isn't really what they want at the end after we've thrown
Okay.
away,
Oh,
everything. So
got you.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then where are you located? Like, what areas do you service, rather?
So I service Southern Jersey, Montgomery County, Delaware County, and I still do Bucks County, not too
Okay.
much of it. But so basically the suburbs of Philadelphia and South Jersey.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
enjoyed this. We're going to have a part two. So
Yes.
maybe you can show us you doing a bathroom, or,
Yeah, yeah,
like a
absolutely.
space that you like. I think that would be great. Is there anything else you want to say about your business, or I don't know, anything, or you good,
No,
or
I just want to encourage everybody that you can really design your life based on, what you have here in your head. Like,
yeah.
and it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter your circumstance.
Hmm.
Start slowly. And this is especially for women. Like we do need a sanctuary space, and
Yes.
it's okay to have it, and don't let anyone ever tell you that,
That you
it
can.
is too much.
Yes.
Everyone deserves to have a safe space to land when they get home.
Oh, I love that. That's perfect ending. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you
Bye.
later. Bye. Let me see. Wait. Ooh.